Shalom, everyone. We're going to go through the Haftarah for Parsha Ki Tavo right here. We're not going to take a long time to expound on this, but there are some things in here that I feel are good for us to cover, and things that I feel that we need to know. Of course, we know when you go through the scripture, it is being opened up to us, and Yahweh is revealing himself in his scriptures and revealing his life and the life that he desires for us to live, right? He is showing us himself and showing us who we are and showing us what he is creating us to be day by day. Okay, so we've got some things to look into here. We've got some things to cover. First off, in Isaiah 60 verse 1, it says, "Arise and shine, for your light has come, and the glory of Yahweh has risen on you." So, when it says, "Arise and shine, for your light has come," who's the light? What does this mean? Yahweh is the light. And if he is the light, it represents him, represents his presence, represents his glory, represents him living in us. It says the world is dark, in the beginning there was darkness, but yet light exists. And so we're going to talk a few things about the light here today. Keep going from Isaiah 60, verse 1, and then, so arise, shine, for your light has come, the glory of the Lord has risen on you. Verse 2, "For behold, darkness shall cover the earth, and thick darkness the people. But Yahweh will arise upon you, and his glory will be seen upon you. Nations shall come to your light, and the kings to the brightness of your rising." You see that? So it says that his glory will rise upon you, will come upon you, and that is the light. But he says that when his light comes upon you, nations and kings will see it. Now that's something that we need to know as well. So if he says that his glory will come upon his people and nations and kings will see it, that means his people are going to have to be in the nations. His people are going to have to be where it's dark. And where the light can be seen when it shines, right? Isaiah 40, verse 3, it says his glory will be revealed. It says, "A voice cries in the wilderness, prepare the way of Yahweh, make straight in the desert a highway for our God. Every valley shall be lifted up, every mountain and hill made low, for uneven ground shall become level, and the rough places made plain. And the glory of Yahweh shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together, for the mouth of Yahweh has spoken." So this light and his glory they work together, okay? His glory is, when his glory is there, you see light, and the light and the glory, here they are, they're together, and they're him. Now take this a step further. Yeshua is the light, okay? He is the light that shines in the darkness. He is the light that was in the beginning. He is the light that shines in us today. And he is the light that is to shine in this dark world out here right now. And how's he going to do it? He's going to do it through you. He's going to do it through his people. Look at John 1. Verses 1 through 9. "In the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God, and all things were made through him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it." Verse 6. "There was a man sent from God whose name was John. He came as a witness to bear witness about the light, that all might believe through him. He was not that light, but he came to bear witness about the light. The true light, which gives light to everyone, was coming into this world." So Yohanan came to bear witness to the light, and who did he say that light was? He said it was Yeshua. And then Yeshua says that he is the light, but then he does something interesting. He says that you're light. See, because we follow him, because he is light, we are light. Look, in John 8:12. Again, Yeshua says, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." John 12:46, "I have come into the world as light, and whoever believes in me may not remain in darkness." And guys, we as a people of Yahweh, a people set apart, need to carry his light with us. Look, Matthew 5:14, Yeshua says, "You are the light of the world. A city that on a hill cannot be hidden." Ephesians 5:8 says, "For at one time you were darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of light." Notice he didn't just say you were in darkness. You were darkness. When we are living in the ways of the world, where we do not have a covenant with Yahweh, we're outside, we're walking for ourselves, living for ourselves, we are darkness. Not just in darkness, we are darkness. But yet when we come to Yahweh, he imparts of his life, his character, his Ruach, his presence, his light to us. And now we were darkness. Now we are light. And then he has something to edify us here. Walk like it. You are light. Live like light. Okay. So we have to let his light shine in through us. Okay. We carry his light with us. Isaiah 2:5 says, house of Jacob, come, let us walk in the light of the Lord. House of Jacob, that's Israel. Oh, come Israel, walk in the light of Yahweh. Learn to walk in his presence and to carry his presence with you no matter where you are. Okay. 1 John 1:5-7. This is the message we have heard from him and proclaimed to you. God is light, and in him is no darkness at all. If we say we have fellowship with him while we walk in darkness, we lie and we do not practice the truth. But if we walk in the light as he is in the light, we have fellowship with one another. And the blood of Yeshua, his son, cleanses us from all sin. See that? So if we're walking in the light as he is in the light, then we have fellowship with one another. And we're cleansed by Yeshua. See that? He says, because we are light, we're walking with him, we will walk with one another. And see, we can't say that we have the light of Yahweh, but refuse to walk with anybody else. We need to learn to walk together. And let your light shine. Two lights together shine brighter than one by itself. We need to let his light shine. You know, even today, we have different wattage of bulbs, different lights shine differently, but they're all a light and they all shine. Okay. When all these lights come together, it's a glorious thing. And that's where we need to be as well. We need to let our light shine. Isaiah 42:6 says, I am Yahweh. I have called you in righteousness. I will take you by the hand and keep you, and I will give you as a covenant for the people, a light for the nations. Isaiah 49:6 says, is it too light a thing that you should be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to bring back the preserved of Israel? Look at this. I will make you as a light for the nations, that my salvation may reach the end of the earth. See that? Again, Yeshua is a light for the nations. He is a light that we return to Yahweh. He is the signal that is raised up on the hill. Like Yeshua says, just as the serpent was lifted up in the wilderness, so must the Son of Man be lifted up. It says, and the prophet says, when the ensign is raised up on the hill, get ready, signal and come to return. This is what Yahweh is calling us for. When we come to Yeshua, we are coming to return to Yahweh. He's calling us back into a place of covenant, back to be a part of his people and to learn to walk in his ways. We've done it our way. Okay, we've had enough of doing it our way. We need to learn to walk with him and to walk in the light that he is and provides. Isaiah 51:4. Give attention to me, my people, and give ear to me, my nation. For a law will go out from me, and I will set my justice for a light to the people. When it's dark, and when you can't see what's happening, and when you're scared of falling in the pit, you need light for your path. And that's what scripture tells us, right? Your word is a lamp to my feet, a light to my path. How much light does a lamp give off? Especially one from back in those days, right? It's not like now where you can have a flashlight this big and it lights up for a mile, yeah, exaggerating, but amazing, right? A lamp, just a little flicker of a flame, just enough light to see what's ahead of you. Learn to walk in his path. Learn to take it step by step. But when we get all of us together, then the light can grow and it can be bigger and it'll show his presence in the midst of the darkness. If a light's big enough, you can see it far away and then people will come. You get a fire big enough, it doesn't matter where it is, if it's controlled or not. You get a fire big enough, people are going to come see what it is. And that's what we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be a light that is to draw people to us, which ultimately draws them to Yahweh. Okay, Isaiah 60:19. And the sun will be no more, and your light by day, nor for brightness shall the moon give you light. But Yahweh will be your everlasting light, and your God will be your glory. Your sun shall no more go down, nor your moon withdraw itself. For Yahweh will be your everlasting light, and your days of mourning shall be ended. Your people shall all be righteous, and they shall possess the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I might be glorified. The least one shall become a clan, and the smallest one a mighty nation. I am Yahweh, and in its time I will hasten it. Does this sound familiar to anyone at all? Look at Revelation 21:23. And the city had no need of sun nor moon to shine on it, for the glory of God gives its light, and its lamp is the Lamb. By its light will the nations walk, and the kings of the earth will bring their glory into it. And its gates will never be shut by day, and there will be no night there. And they will bring into it the glory and the honor of the nations. But nothing unclean will ever enter it, nor anyone who does what is detestable or false, but only those who are written in the Lamb's book of life. Guys, I'm telling you, arise, shine, for your light has come. The glory of the Lord will be given to you and rise upon you. But we need to learn to walk in Him, learning to walk in His light, drawing the people to Him, and yes, giving glory to the Lord our God, showing His light, showing His love, and expressing the heart of the Father to those around us. Why? To help draw the nations to the goodness of our God. That's all I have for you on this, on the Haftarah, guys. You can go back and on our channels that we have here on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, you can find all these links to where you can watch the Haftarah again if you want to, or even the Torah portions for the week, guys. So until next time, blessing to you all, and shalom. Shalom, everybody. Welcome to this week's journey through Torah. This week we're in Ki Tavo. We're talking about going into the land. Now, we know that Israel, when they were in the wilderness, Yahweh was giving them instructions. He was telling them what He was wanting them to do here and now while they're in the wilderness. But a lot of the focus is when you get to the land, here's what life is going to be like. Things are going to change when you get into the land. You're not going to have the tabernacle visible from wherever you are. You're going to be spread out throughout the land of Israel. And so you're going to have to trust. You're going to have faith. And you're going to have more responsibility in the lands where you are, because you have to keep your places, your habitations holy. And you're going to have to represent Yahweh wherever you are. But then when you come to worship, it's not like you walk to the center of the camp now. Now it's you go to the place where He has placed His name. And this is, when they go into the land, they end up setting up ultimately in Shiloh, and then it just goes around, ends up in Jerusalem, right? But the point is, when they get into the land, everything is going to change. Life is going to change. Yahweh says when you get in there are still things that are expected of you. It's not like, okay, well, I can't see the tabernacle, so I don't have to live like the tabernacle's right here, right? No, it's that now you get into the land and Yahweh is still your God. So when you go into the land, He still has ways of life that He expects from us. He still wants us to walk in the way. He still wants us to walk in paths of righteousness. He still wants us to represent Him no matter where we are. So there are some things that He says. When you go in there, I have some expectations for you. And this is a life that's going to be a blessing for you, and not just you, but those around you, all the other nations. And as Yahweh is blessing you, ends up blessing the Levi'im, the Levites, and the Kohanim, Aaron and his sons. There are things that need to be done in order so that life is good, so that Yahweh provides a blessing for all of us, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about some of these things today, and we're going to focus primarily on a few verses, Deuteronomy 26, verses 16 to 19, and these are the main focus of what we're going to look at for here today, and hopefully, we get some good things in here to bless you, get some good things in here to challenge you as well, because isn't that the goal? Not just to come and try to find some knowledge, but try to change. See where the heart of the Father is with us, and to see where we need to change to line up with what He is desiring for us, right? Okay, so Ki Tavo, so when you go into the land, there are some things that are going to be expected. But first and foremost, let's not forget who Yahweh is, who we are, and what that means for us relationship-wise. Okay, so let's read these, and then we're going to go back and break it down a little bit, all right? So Deuteronomy 26, verses 16 to 19. Says, "This day Yahweh your God commands you to do these statutes and rules, that you shall therefore be careful to do them with all your heart and with all your soul. So you have declared today that Yahweh your God is your God, and that you will walk in his ways and keep his statutes and his commandments and his rules and will obey his voice. And Yahweh has declared today that you are a people for his treasured possession, as he has promised you, and that you are to keep all his commandments. And that he will set you in praise and in fame and in honor high above all the nations that he has made, and that you shall be a people holy to Yahweh your God, as he has promised. The first thing that I want to point out in here is he says today. So when is today? I mean, if it's today, is it still relevant now? Because when this was given today, I mean, this was a long time ago, right? We're talking about 3,500 years ago. So is the things that were given today still for us? Yes, absolutely. Because we're talking about issues of covenant. And every day when you wake up, you come to the realization you are in covenant with the Most High. And so you walk according to his ways. When you get up in the morning, it's him that gives you your breath. It's him that gives you your life today. So we live today for him. We may look to yesterday just to see the things where we've been and where we've come from and where Yahweh has brought us through. We may look forward ahead to see the plans that we may have and try to establish and things that we're trying to do. But ultimately, we live today, right? If you go back and you look at this, it says Hayom is the word that's used there. Hayom literally means the day, okay, but it translates as today. So it says, this day, Yahweh your God commands you. And then it says, you have declared today. And then it says, Yahweh has declared today. Now, all of these are the same word, Hayom. So what is it that it says here? First off, it says, this day, today, Yahweh your God commands you. Then you declared today, and then Yahweh declares today. See how that kind of works like a covenant kind of thing? There's some expectation of reality, the expectation of walking in covenant, some things that are given there beforehand. Then he says, you have declared and Yahweh has declared. Right? So there's some things regarding relationship that we need to look at as well. 2 Corinthians 6:2. For he says, in an acceptable time I heard you, and in a day of salvation I helped you. Behold, now is the acceptable time. Behold, now is the day of salvation. By the way, it's quoting from Isaiah. So he says, again, today is the day of salvation. Now is the day of salvation. So is that, we missed it? It was then? No, it's every day. As we give him this day, we give him the opportunities in this day. Let's realize today is what he wants to work in our lives, right? Psalm 95:7-8 says, for he is our God, and we are the people of his pasture and the sheep of his hand. Today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts as at Meribah on the day of Massah in the wilderness. Again, today, each day we have to make the decision that we are going to serve him, and we need to make this decision every day. So when we say today, every day when you wake up, it's today. You know, you can look forward and you can make plans, you can do things, but tomorrow when you wake up, it's going to be today. What are you going to do with today? And it's your todays that make up what you're looking at and planning for in the future. You know, you have a plan, but it's today where you work that plan. So we may have some things in mind that we want for our life, but today, what are we going to do about it? You know, that's why Scripture says it's 6 days you work, but the seventh day is Shabbat. You cease from working and you enter into his rest. It's a time of holy convocation. It's gathering in, and it's a time of being with Yahweh and being with his people, a time of blessing, and a time to regroup and refresh. Okay, but again, it's today this happens, and it sets the tone for what comes later. Deuteronomy 30:19-20 says, I call heaven and earth to witness against you today that I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Therefore choose life, that you and your offspring may live, loving Yahweh your God, obeying his voice, and holding fast to him. For he is your life and length of days, that you may dwell in the land that Yahweh swore to your fathers, Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, to give to them. Okay, so enough about that today, but what are we supposed to do today? Okay, he says we're supposed to make choices, but what are those choices? Let's go back and look at it. Deuteronomy 26:16. This day, Yahweh your God commands you to do these statutes and rules. You shall therefore be careful to do them with all your heart and with all your soul. We are to observe and listen, and let's call it what it is. Be obedient to Yahweh because we are his. Okay, we're talking about obedience that is rooted in love for him. We love him, therefore we listen to him. We love him, therefore we obey his voice. It's not a matter of trying to do something to earn something from him. We're not trying to work our way into grace or work our way into his goodness, work our way into what he wants for us. No, we come to him as we are. He comes to you and then changes you. And now he sets you on a path of righteousness that we have to learn how to walk in. It's called sanctification. It's a daily process of living life set apart to Yahweh. And that is what this being obedient to him is. We are obedient to Yahweh because we are his. We're not trying to work things from the Torah to try to earn salvation from him. It's because we are redeemed, because we are his, that we do what he said. Okay? And we see this time and time and time and time again, where Yahweh is telling us all the time to be obedient to him, to listen to his voice. We cannot say we are his and then not care what he says for us. Okay? We cannot say, Yahweh, I'm yours, but I'm not going to listen to you. It doesn't work that way. If we are his, then we are obedient to him. And that's what he's asking us. Okay? Even when Yeshua said, follow me, that was requiring a certain level of obedience from those that would follow him. I mean, he would teach them, he would disciple them, right? And disciple means student, by the way, but he would be teaching them and discipling them, but they're not going to say, oh, I hear you, but I don't want to do that. You know, if they were submitting themselves to Yeshua to be taught and to be instructed, then they would listen to him when he speaks to them. And again, it's a matter of being obedient. Yeshua said, my sheep hear my voice and they follow me. That means they're obedient. Okay. Look, Deuteronomy 6:4-9 talks about the Shema, right? It says, hear Israel, the Lord your God, the Lord is one. What does it say after that? You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and all your might. So we are to be obedient with all of our heart and with all of our soul, and we are to follow him and do what he says because we love him. And how are we supposed to do it? With all our heart and with all our soul. Can you do something half-heartedly? Yeah, absolutely. Can you do something out of a sense of obligation, but not have a heart to do it? Absolutely. Do you get the same effect? No, you do not. You know, you may have completed a task, but if your heart is not in it, you don't get the desired effect out of it. You don't get blessed out of it. It's just, it is what it is. It's just a thing, right? So if we want the blessing that Yahweh wants for us, we need to be obedient, but we need to do it with all of our heart. We need to do it because we love him. And because we love him, we love one another as well. 1 John 5:2-3 says, by this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and what? Obey his commandments. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not burdensome. When does the commandments of Yahweh become a burden to us? And it's put very simply, when we don't want to do it. See, it becomes a burden to us when it counts against what we want. Okay, this is why I'm leery of a lot of people who say, you know, the Holy Spirit told them they're to do this, and it's funny how it always lines up with what they want, even though the word may contradict it. Now, I'm not saying that's a blanket statement for everybody, okay? I'm just saying I find these situations very odd. You know, we need to discern between what we want and what Yahweh is asking for us, and we need to submit our hearts to what he is asking for us. When we love God, then we will do what he has said, right? Okay, moving on. Deuteronomy 26:17. It says, you have avouched to Yahweh this day to be your God. We'll come back to that in a second. So what does it mean that says that he is our God? We have said, we have proclaimed, we have said, we have spoken, Yahweh is our God. Means we forsake all others. We give up any other deities we may have bowed down to, any other things that have held a place of idols in our life. We worship Yahweh. So how do we do that? Is it just a matter of profession? Is it just saying, oh, I serve Yahweh, but we don't actually serve him? We don't actually live like he's asking us to? No, let's read it. You have avouched that Yahweh this day is your God, and that you would walk in his ways, that's derech, keep his statutes, that's hok, and his commandments, that's mitzvah, and his ordinances, that's mishpatim, and hear his voice, that is Shema. So all of these things that break down, I mean, you may translate each one of these things independently as a command or law, but really it's just, let's oversimplify it. We do what he says. Whatever that may be, we do what he says, no matter how you want to classify it. See, we kind of classify things so we can say, these I have to do, and these over there I don't. See, no, that's not what we're supposed to do. We listen to Yahweh because we love him. We are in a place of covenant with him. We are in relationship with him. Therefore, we want to do what he says because it is a blessing for him, a blessing for us, and it just makes good life, right? So we go here. It says, so you have said that Yahweh is your God. So who is the God that we serve, and how do we serve him? It's a good question, isn't it? Because when you ask someone, so do you believe in God? They could say yes, but the question is, what are they calling God? What God are we talking about? We may not be talking about the same thing. Okay? Yahweh is Elohim. He is the one above all. He is the only, right? He is the way, the truth, and the life. But other people have other deities they serve. So we can't use just a specific, or rather more like a generalized term, okay? What God do you serve, right? And how do you serve him? Let's take a look at a few things. In Exodus 3:15, we find Moshe at the burning bush, and Yahweh is calling him out from where he is, right? And Moshe is kind of arguing with Yahweh a little bit. And so it gets to a point where Yahweh is starting to explain some things to him, much like when Moshe says, so who do I say sent me? And this is where he comes in and says, I am that I am. Not getting too much into that part of it today, but I am is not really a name, is more like an attribute, something that he said. It would be an expression of who he is. When in that aspect, you might call it a name. It's more of an action, though, because in Hebrew, it's Ihiyeh asher Ihiyeh, I will be, in that I will be, and we translate as I am, but really what he's telling Moshe is, in everything that I'm telling you, I'm in the midst of it. I am there, wherever I tell you. So the rest of this is irrelevant. What I'm telling you to do, just do it because I am there, okay? But then he goes on a little further, and what does he say? He starts to say, okay, I am, or Ihiyeh asher Ihiyeh, but then he says, this is how I am to be remembered. Now, what does he say? He says, go to them and say to them, this is who sent you. So who is it, right? Exodus 3:15. So God said, moreover unto Moshe, thus ye shall say to the children of Israel, Yahweh, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations. The Hebrew, it's YHWH, Elohei Avotechem, Elohei Avram, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov. So he identifies himself. Yahweh identifies himself as Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. So here's the thing. We say we serve God, but we cannot say that we serve the God of Israel. Why Israel? Because Jacob's name was changed to what? Israel, who had sons, 12 tribes. The 12 tribes of Israel. Covenant was given to Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob, right? So we serve the God of Israel. If we cannot say we serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we serve the God of Israel, then you need to reevaluate who you serve. Because biblically, Yahweh revealed himself as the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. You cannot say, well, I serve God, but I don't serve the God that they serve. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Because that's who God himself said he is. Not just was, is. So we do need to stop and see, well, how does that relate to us? And what does that mean for us and how we live? Right? So you cannot say, well, I serve God, but I don't really want to stand with Israel. Guess what, guys? He is the God of Israel. So if we stand with him, we stand with Israel. Okay? Leviticus 20:7-8 says, consecrate yourselves, therefore, and be holy, for I am Yahweh your God. Ani Yahweh Elohechem. I am Yahweh your God. So he gives an action here. I want you to consecrate yourselves and be holy because I am Yahweh your God. It's not a matter of, again, we're not really just setting ourselves to try to be holier than thou. What we are trying to do is to live life according to his ways, his paths, his instruction that he's giving us, which if we do this, we are walking in a path of righteousness. We're walking in his paths. And then we are learning how to live life day by day by day. Okay, so what does he say? Verse 8, so keep my statutes and do them, because I am Yahweh who sanctifies you. Again, doing the word, we don't sanctify ourselves. We set ourselves apart by doing what he says. And as we do that, he sanctifies us, right? He is the one that makes us holy. All right, so let's keep going. Ezekiel 20:19, I am Yahweh your God. Now, what does it say next? Walk in my statutes, keep my judgments, and do them. And hallow my Shabbats, and they shall be a sign between me and you, that you may know that I am Yahweh your God. Again, he says, I am Yahweh your God, therefore, these things I expect you to do, because he is our God, not to try to make him our God. We do these things because he is our God. Leviticus 26:11-13 says, I will put my tabernacle among you, and I will not reject you. I will walk among you and be your God, and you will be my people. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, so that you would not be their slaves. I have broken the bars of your yoke, so that you can walk upright. Yahweh says, I have redeemed you, and I have set you free. I have broken your bondage, so that you can be upright. Well, how can we be upright? We have to learn to walk upright. We have to learn his righteousness, learn his ways, learn to walk in his ways. That means step by step, listening to his voice, doing the things that he has commanded us. His mishpatim. Mishpatim is things that Yahweh has instructed to us regarding relationships, right? It's the portion of scripture we get after the Ten Commandments is called mishpatim, and it's all about how we handle each other in daily life and in disagreements, okay? So it's judgments. Okay, because the word shoftim is judge, right? It's the same words as the root. So these are judgments that are given between us. And so these are how we live with one another. Hok is translated as decree or custom. So again, these are things that we just have to learn along the way, which is derek. Now go back to what we just covered just a little bit ago, right? So these are all things that we learn along the way as we are living life and learning to walk in his ways. Genesis 26:4-5, Yahweh speaking to Yitzhak, and we know that, from Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, right? So he's talking to Yitzhak as he's trying to determine what he's going to do next in life. He had some problems, and there were droughts, famines, different things going on. Where should he go? Where should he not go? How should he live? And Yahweh appears to him, and he's basically comforting him and says, the covenant that I have given to Abraham is yours. He's comforting him in this, but he's also instructing him in how Abraham walked with him. Okay, let's look at it. Genesis 26:4. I will multiply your offspring as the stars of heaven, and I will give your offspring all these lands, and in your offspring all the nations of the earth shall be blessed. Because you? No, because Abraham did what? Because Abraham obeyed my voice, kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. Look at it in the Hebrew. It says, Ikev asher shema Abraham bekoli. This is shema, my voice. He shema, my voice. V'yishmor mishmeratai. This is shamar is to keep, to guard, to protect. Same word used as a watchman, shomer. Okay, so he kept what I charged him with. Mitzvotai. Mitzvot is the word for command. So that which I commanded him, he kept. My statutes, hukotai, that's the word huka, which is, again, these decrees or customs, ordinances, these things that Yahweh gave him that he may not have exactly said why, he just said do it. And my laws, vitorotai, the word Torah is the word that's used there, and Torah is teaching and instruction. See, we translate as law, but literally it's to teach and instruct. And all that Yahweh taught or instructed Abraham, he walked in. Okay, and again, these are things, is it any different for us? Because Abraham is an example for us, because he is called the father of faith, right? Because remember, a covenant was made with Abraham before he was circumcised. Okay, so because of faith, Abraham came to him, and it says he believed in him, it was counted to him as righteousness, right? So we say, see, because we do the same thing, but look at how Abraham lived. He did these things that many today will tell you, you don't have to worry about, you don't have to do, because you're not trying to earn grace from God. Well, here's the point they missed. Because you come to Yahweh in faith, you do what he said. Because you are in covenant with him, you listen to him and learn to walk with him in the ways that he is walking. So again, it's just a change of life. And isn't that what we're supposed to have? We can't say, God, I'm going to come to you, but I'm going to do it my way, and you better bless me. No, we can't do that. It's not how it works, right? Let's keep going. Micah 4:2. And many nations shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of the God of Jacob. See that? Who's God? The God of Jacob. And he will teach us his ways. We will walk in his paths. For the law will go forth out of Zion, and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. See that? We come to the God of Jacob to learn his ways. We don't come to the God of Jacob to say, I'm gonna do what I want. Okay? We cannot fully submit to him unless we surrender to him. And you don't negotiate terms of your surrender. You give all you are. Okay? Let's keep going. Deuteronomy 8:1-3. The whole commandment that I command you today, you shall be careful to do, that you may live and multiply, and go in and possess the land that Yahweh swore to give to your fathers. And you shall remember the whole way that Yahweh your God led you these 40 years in the wilderness, that he might humble you. Look what comes next. Testing you to know what was in your heart, whether you would keep his commandments or not. And he humbled you and let you hunger and fed you with manna, which you did not know, nor did your fathers know, that he might make you know man does not live on bread alone, but every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. Again, he says he allowed these tests so that you would know if you love God or not, or if you would keep his commandments or not. See that? And that's something important we need to pay attention to. He said that he allows things in our life sometimes so that we would know whether we love God or whether we love the idea of God. I say this often, but the point is very true. Do we love God or do we love the idea of God? Do we have this idea in our heads of who God is, and this is how he needs to work, and these are the things he needs to do, and this is what's going to happen. I'm going to do this, and then he's going to do that, and this is how I'm going to live because he is my God, right? Doesn't work that way. He says, I allowed things in your life so that you would know if you would keep my commandments or not. See, if we love him or not. See, because we love him, we keep his commandments. Look into Deuteronomy 13:1-4. It's very similar, except in this case, there's a false prophet that rises up in their midst. He does signs and wonders and miracles. He does great and mighty things, but he is trying to draw them off the path. He is trying to draw them away from the word they have already been given and already been instructed in, to try to pull them away from the Torah. What does the scripture tell us? Deuteronomy 13:3. Yahweh your God is testing you to know whether you love Yahweh your God with all your heart and all your soul. You shall walk after Yahweh your God. Fear him, keep his commandments, obey his voice, and serve him and hold fast to him. See that? So he says here that if we love him, we will do what he says. All right? And that's the proof of that. It's not a matter of, well, I love God, and then a minute later, because things don't go the way that we think they should, say, well, God, I thought you loved me. Well, this whole God thing doesn't work, and then we walk away from God, which, did we really have faith in God anyway? Do we really have faith in Yahweh? Did we have faith in the word that he gave us? Or did we have faith in who we thought he was? See, there is a difference. Okay, Deuteronomy 30:19-20, again, he says, I call heaven and earth to witness against you today that I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Therefore, we have a choice to make. Choose life, that you and your offspring may live. Loving Yahweh your God. How do we do that? Obey his voice, hold fast to him, for he is your life and length of days, that you may dwell in the land that Yahweh swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and Yaakov, to give him. And essentially, a corner of the faith, a foundation of the faith that's said every day, all around the globe, is the Shema. Right? We covered that a little bit ago. But the key element of the Shema is obedience, that we obey his voice. We hear with the intent of obedience. Exodus 19:5 says, now therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, you shall be my treasured possession among all people, for all the earth is mine. John 10:27, Yeshua says, my sheep hear my voice, I know them, and they follow me. Micah 6:8 essentially is asking for us for obedience as well. It says, he has told you, O man, what is good, and what does Yahweh require of you? But to do justice, to love kindness, and walk humbly with your God. Again, these are things that are found in the Torah. These are things that are found for us to do, right? Ecclesiastes 12, 13, and 14. The end of the matter, all has been heard. Fear God and keep his commandments. This is the whole duty of man. For God will bring every deed into judgment with every secret thing, whether good or evil. You see that? At the end of everything, when everything is said and done and all there is that has to begin, the bottom line is this: fear God, keep his commandments. See, and it's based out of relationship. Because he is our God, we will fear him and keep his commandments. Because he is our God, we will listen to him. My question is, do we truly have a heart of obedience, or do we really try to make excuses to try to keep from being obedient? Where is our heart? If we really want to serve Yahweh, we will be obedient to him and his word and learn to walk in his ways. See, I've come across people now, again, not a blanket statement for everybody, but I have come across people that say, well, I just think God would want me happy. You know, your happiness comes and goes. Something can make you temporarily happy that is not good. You know, you can do something and just this euphoric emotion that comes forward, happy, because you just feel good about something. It doesn't mean it's right. Okay. Again, Yahweh is calling us to holiness. He is calling us to live and to be a people that are set apart to him, right? Even down to the thing of, well, God knows my heart. Yes, that's why he told us don't follow it. He told us to follow his ways, keep our eyes on him, and don't go, he says literally, don't go whoring around after what your eyes see, but follow him. This is in Numbers 15, when he gives us the instruction regarding tzitzit, that we are to look at it and remember to keep his commandments. Don't go following and chasing after just the things that our eyes see. Deuteronomy 29, 19 to 21. So if there is such a person, when he hears the word of this curse, he bless himself, secretly saying to himself, I will be all right, even though I will stubbornly keep doing whatever I feel like doing. You see that? He says, I'm going to go ahead and do whatever I want. I'm going to be okay. See, me and God, we got this understanding. It doesn't work that way. Okay, it's not a matter, well, I'm going to do whatever I want and God's going to be happy with it. He'll be okay with it. And he's got to bless me anyway, right? No, he doesn't. Matter of fact, he says that if we are defiant and rebellious against him like this, he says that there are curses that will come upon us. We continue reading in Deuteronomy 29 that we see there. What are we told in the scripture? Yeshua says this, John 14:21, if you love me, keep my commandments. He says this, John 14:21, whoever has my commandments and keeps them, he it is who loves me. And he who loves me will be loved by my Father, and I will love him and manifest myself to him. John 15:10, if you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love. Look at this. Just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in my Father's love. 2 John 1:6, and this is love, that we walk according to his commandments. This is a commandment, just as you have heard from the beginning, that you should walk in it. See that? So his commandments are not burdensome, and if we love him, we will walk in them. This is what Yeshua said as well. I mean, and there are those who may say, well, yeah, but what Yeshua said, Yeshua only gave us 2 commands. No, he said that you are to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, all your might, and love your neighbor as yourself. On these 2 things hang all the commandments. He said, if you're doing these 2 things, you will be properly walking in all of them. He didn't say do these 2 things and you don't have to do the rest, because all of the other ones can be categorized under these 2 things. Okay. Matter of fact, we see in Revelation 12:17, it says the dragon fought with who? Those who obey God's commands and bear witness to Yeshua. In Revelation 14:12, this is a perseverance needed on the part of God's people. Those who what? Who are God's people? Those who observe his commands and exercise Yeshua's faithfulness, who have keep his commands and walk with Yeshua, right? Wow. Deuteronomy 26:18. Let's look at this real quick. And Yahweh has declared today that you are a people for his treasured possession, as he has promised you, and that you are to keep his commandments. You see this? So it says today he is your God, right? Today you hear his voice. Today you say he is your God, and today he says you are his people. Right? There's this declarations of going back and forth, of reaffirming covenant, reaffirming what was given to the people. Okay. 1 Peter 2:9 and 10 says, but you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for his own possession, that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Once you were not a people, but now you are God's people. Once you had not received mercy, but now you have received mercy. Look at Exodus 19:5-6. Now therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, you shall be my treasured possession among all the people, for all the earth is mine. And you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words you shall speak to the people of Israel. You see this? Again, reaffirming, you are mine. But we see this again when Yeshua is saying, you're mine, so listen to my voice. Yahweh is speaking the same thing. You are mine, so listen to my voice. You are mine, so do what I command you, right? Isaiah 42:6, I am Yahweh. I have called you in righteousness. I will take you by the hand and keep you. I will give you as a covenant for the people, a light for the nations. See that? You are mine, and you are an example to those around you. You are mine, and you are to show me through you. All right? Let's keep going. Deuteronomy 26:19. It says, and he will set you in praise and fame and in honor high above all the nations that he has made, and you shall be a people holy to Yahweh your God, as he promised. Look at Isaiah 58:14. And he shall take delight in Yahweh, and I will make you ride on the heights of the earth, and I will feed you with the heritage of Yaakov your father, for the mouth of Yahweh has spoken. Wow. See that? Follow me, and I will bless you. Follow me, and I will be a blessing for you, and others will be blessed through you. Again, Yeshua said, Matthew 4:19, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. This idea is follow me, and there's going to be some prices to pay. You know, Yeshua extends salvation. You've heard many, many times again, salvation is a free gift for you to receive, but it will cost you everything after that. Okay, in other words, we live our life set apart to him from that point forward. It's not like a free gift. We can take it, look at it, say, oh, this is neat, and then have no other use for it and don't walk with it. No, it's given to us, but now we learn to walk with him. He says, follow me and I will make you fishers of men. In other words, we've got a learning to do. We've got some things that we need to lay our life down for, and there's some things that have to happen in the process. Okay. Deuteronomy 27:1. So Moshe with the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day. So again, in this parsha we find, it says, so keep all the commandments I am commanding you. Now, here's the thing. We can take this so far on ourselves that it becomes such a bone-crushing burden upon us. We have to learn all the commandments and keep them all perfectly, or else we can't please God, okay? Here's the thing. The way this is written, it's a little interesting, okay? Because it says, Shomer et kol mitzvah. Mitzvah is commandment, command, singular. So keep, kol can be translated as all or each. So keep each command that I'm giving you. How do we walk in the commandments of Yahweh? Very simply, one at a time. We do as we learn. Okay, let's not try to say, I have to learn everything to get life perfect before I can come to Yahweh and do what he's asking me. No, learn to walk with him one step at a time. How did you learn to walk? One step at a time. So same way that we come to Yahweh and learn to walk in his ways, one step at a time. Okay, Colossians 3:23 says, whatever you do, do it heartily as to the Lord and not unto men, knowing that of the Lord you shall receive a reward of the inheritance, for you serve Yeshua. All that we do it to the glory of Yahweh. Don't do it to be seen unto men, but if we do it to Yahweh, that means when we are doing life one step at a time, learning his ways, walking in his mitzvot, we're doing it for him. So if we mess up, we repent and we get up and we keep moving. We're doing it for him. Because he tells us that people will see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven, right? So he sees us doing his good deeds. These are called mitzvot. Yeah, commands. And so when we're doing good, we're doing what Yahweh has commanded us to do. And then we will be a light to those around us, a light to the nations. Ultimately, what it comes down to is this, the whatever scriptures, right? Whatever we think about, whatever we internalize, whatever we meditate on, comes through you, and people will see that. Okay, where your focus is, that's where your heart's going to be. All right, where the things that you focus on and how you live, and the things that you meditate on is going to come out of you in words and speech and action, deeds, all these. Right. So, what are the things that we need to meditate on? Look, Philippians 4:4-9. Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say rejoice. Let your moderation be known unto all men. The Lord is at hand. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which passes all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Messiah Yeshua. Verse 8. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of a good report, if there is any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. Those things which you have both learned and received and heard and seen in me, do, and the God of peace shall be with you. See that? The things you have seen and experienced, do them, and the God of peace will be with you. We learn the Word of God not to try to just talk about it. We learn the Word of Yahweh so that we can walk in it, so that we can do it daily, day by day by day. Why? To let His glory be seen, to let His name be known, and to let His life live through us. And may it be so in Yeshua's name. Guys, thank you for holding in there. I appreciate you tuning in and doing these teachings. I pray that they are a challenge to you, and I pray that they encourage you as well. So until next time, be blessed and shalom.